It's daybreak. The sun's golden rays peek beyond the horizon, giving light to a brand new day across Africa. Suddenly, the beautiful mountainous curves come into full view. Wildlife awakes and roams freely across the evergreen and majestic plains. Rivers show off their vibrant aqualife, and in the nearby towns, people resume their daily routines. This is Africa. This is Zimbabwe. This is Kariba. Situated in the top northern part of Zimbabwe and sharing a border with Zambia, Kariba is one of the numerous resort towns of Zimbabwe and home to thousands of eye-catching spectacles. Today, there is something different in Kariba, and it's in the beautiful skies above the resort town. Welcome to the Zimbabwe Invitational Skydiving Symposium, Zimbabwe's premier skydiving showcase, organized by the Zimbabwe Parachute Association. The Zimbabwe Parachute Association runs a small skydiving operation in Zimbabwe called Skydive.com. Under that banner, it has two operations, namely Mashonaland Skydivers and Skydive Bulawayo. This is where those who have no fear and a love for heights get together to literally jump from the sky. So far, the divers are mainly made up of serving military members as well as interested civilians. All one needs is the passion, the drive, and a brave heart. Although there is much thrill and loads of excitement for adrenaline junkies in this sport, it is not all fun and spills, as jumping from at least 11,000 feet is no joke at all. There has to be adequate training and preparedness. For the 2 days of this edition, divers face their fears by going up into the skies, jump out and fall, hopefully to a safe landing. That's the fun. May the games begin. Once all things have been packed and all precautions observed, it is time to go up. The excitement, which was so high down on the ground, is somewhat measured at this point as the plane ascends to its altitude. Each diver silently makes a little prayer, hoping to kiss Mother Earth safely once more. May the odds ever be in their favor. Any minute now, it will be time to take what for many will be a great leap of faith. And here goes. So far, so good. And then there is a moment of brief drama. So what happens when a jump goes wrong? Well, the instructor stops all pending jumps and has to go after the diver in danger, just to make sure. And what remains in the plane is anxious moments, as no one knows how it all went down there. Luckily for this diver, it all ended well and he was able to land on the ground relatively safely.
Today I did one of my first free fall jumps. I had 11 static line jumps prior to this. We don't jump enough, so it's hard to stay current. Any chance I get, I take it. I took a bit long to open my chute, longer than I should have, but it went well because I'm here. I was panicking at first, but then you realize that you don't have time to panic. You need to stay calm and deal with the situation, what I've been trained to do.
This is my 4th time skydiving. Unfortunately, on this lift, when we got to 6,000 feet, I don't know what happened. I didn't feel ready, and I decided to back out on this one. So, yep, I clicked out. But tomorrow's another day. I hope to be up there and I hope to be skydiving.
I'm a parachute jumping instructor with Mashonaland Skydiving Club, and I started skydiving way back in 2000. That was when I joined the Air Force of Zimbabwe. I'm an ex-Air Force member. We're doing a training program that is Mashonaland Skydiving Club in conjunction with Air Force of Zimbabwe, just exchanging ideas on how skydiving is conducted. At altitude, I was doing the spotting on the door. I brought the first student to the door, dispatched the first lady, everything was fine. Then the second guy came to the door. Well, he was man enough to say, no, it's not for me. And I pulled him back into the aircraft. Okay. Then came the third guy, who was on free fall. Pulled him to the door nicely. I gave him the word of command, go. He never hesitated. Out he went. Okay. As per his instruction, he was told 5 seconds delay, but this time he went a little bit early to go for his opening device. So he went out, stable position. He tried to reach for his opening device. He missed it. Okay. So he came back to the frog position. So from there, he tried again to reach for it. So he went into a spin, started spinning, going downwards. So remember, this was the last guy out. Okay, so I'm standing on the door, I'm watching him go down. He has obviously gone past his opening height. And as an instructor, I'm not thinking to myself, is this guy going to open? So instinctively, when something goes wrong, you have to jump in as an instructor. So what do? Instinctively, I jump out of the aircraft. Got into track position, tried to cover the distance so that I could catch up with him. I opened my parachute, his is not yet open. So I'm now scared. What's happening with this guy? So now my parachute is open. I'm looking around. Oh, there it is. He's safe. He opened his reserved. So basically what we're trying to do is whenever there's a problem, the worst thing you can never do is to panic. Okay? You've done your drills, you've tried to open your parachute, it doesn't open. What's the next thing? Go for your reserve parachute. Okay? So that is exactly what he did. Only that he waited a little bit longer than expected. From my experience, the fear it still remains there. The fear still remains there. Why? If I'm not scared, then I remove that safety aspect from my mind. I still have to remain scared so that I remain safety conscious. We're all happy because the guy remembered his drills, he opened his parachute, happy days, he saved his life. So jumping continues.
I want to jump again.
There is excitement again on the ground as everyone preps up for the day's jumps. However, on this particular morning, the weather is not conducive to jump. It is overcast and dangerous. Safety takes precedence. This means more prep time for the divers. Finally, the clouds clear and the instructors give the green light. It is safe to jump. There is excitement. And once again, it is time to get off the ground and do what we all have come here to do. Once again, as the plane reaches its altitude, anxiety and seriousness overtake the excitement we saw on the ground. The reality of jumping from so high up sinks in, and yesterday's miscued jump could be playing on the minds of the divers. The question remains, will everyone jump today? And will our errant jumper from yesterday be brave enough to correct his mistake? Let's see. Once again, there are some divers who face troubles and cannot jump. One never knows if this is a curse or a blessing in disguise. If a diver has any malfunction with their equipment, they will not be allowed to jump for their own safety. Perfect jumps on day 2. Nothing to make our hearts stop. Perfect landings also.
I started skydiving about 4 or 5 years ago. I first did it with a bunch of friends, just something different. I'm the only one who's carried on, stupidly. I discovered not very many girls skydive, so I think it's pretty cool to keep doing it. I enjoy it. It's nice to do something that's completely out of your comfort zone. It's always scary to jump. As soon as you get to the door, you panic, and all the guys are like, no, it's cool. It's not actually that cool. But it was awesome, and I had a good jump today. I haven't jumped for a long time now, so I had to go back to a static line jump, which was I'm glad I did a static line. I wouldn't like to go back to free fall immediately. And had a good opening. It was a little bit rough, but I came into land, was great. The wind was good. There's not a lot of wind today, fortunately. Didn't see any of the other skydivers coming off the plane. I was the first jumper today. So that was a little bit nerve-wracking, but I was just trying to focus on my landing.
I don't mind her jumping. She's old enough to make up her own mind. I've never been as worried about it as I was today, partly because she was very nervous yesterday, and I wondered if somebody was trying to tell her something. Don't jump today. She was coming down nicely, and I know she comes down nicely. She handles her chute very nicely. She's jumped a lot of times now, and it was very good.
Skydiving is a really awesome sport. I saw it on TV. I thought, let me try this out. It's full-on adrenaline sport. I love adrenaline. I'm a bungee jumper. I kayak. I do a lot of extreme sports. And it's the adrenaline. It's all about the rush, I guess.
So, after a successful 2 days of skydiving showcase, it is back to the drawing board for the Mashonaland skydivers to map the way forward. It's mission accomplished for the Mashonaland skydivers. Skydiving in Zimbabwe is set to grow from such steps. The Botswana team's inclusion in this Zimbabwean revival has been welcomed as they bring in a wealth of experience, having done this at a much grander scale. Mashonaland skydivers instructor Francis Chitsike has been with the Botswana divers, and he serves as the uniting factor in the inter-country relations. As skydiving grows in Zimbabwe, we wait to see who will come up and take up this rather uplifting adventure. For now, this is the first batch that hopes to revive the sport. As the sun sets in Kariba and the night crawls up on the horizon, we all leave the town satisfied that skydiving in Zimbabwe is indeed on the mend and poised for growth.